President Obama is due here in this town in a few hours from now. He'll meet with the parents. He will address the community and the nation at a candlelight vigil, and we will see how he will transfer his grief into political action in the next few days. But for now, all attention is still on this community. The investigation conducted by the state police will last perhaps a few more weeks. There are so many questions that still need to be answered, but what we do know more of now is the lives that were tragically cut short. Newtown is a place where even the Christmas trees have been turned into shrines, and where the usual sounds of the season have been replaced by the silence of almost unspeakable grief. Today is about the names behind the numbers, the lives behind the names. This was Anna Marquez Green, next to her older brother. 7 years old, the daughter of a jazz musician. They'd moved here from New York for a quiet life. 6-year-old Dylan Hockley from Hampshire, American mother, British father. They had moved here 2 years ago. And Emily Parker, 6 years old. They'd also just arrived here 8 months ago from Utah. The family is Mormon. The father, Robbie Parker, works in the pediatric unit at the local hospital, and his testimony is heartbreaking.
She was the type of person that could just light up a room. She always had something kind to say about anybody. And her love and the strength that she gave us and the example that she showed to us is remarkable. She is an incredible person, and I'm so blessed to be her dad. As we move on from what happened here, what happened to so many people, let it not turn into something that defines us.
And then the father, who just lost his 6-year-old daughter to a gunman, showed astonishing grace.
I'd really like to offer our deepest condolences to all the families who were directly affected by this shooting. It's a horrific tragedy, and we want everybody to know that our hearts and our prayers go out to them. This includes the family of the shooter.
Amid the grief and the heartbreak, the questions: why and how? This was the house in which Adam Lanza, the 20-year-old killer, lived with his mother. 4,000 square feet, more of a mansion really, now a crime scene. We now know that he shot her twice in the head in her own bed with one of her own guns before heading to the school. The street is cordoned off, but as we were filming, a neighbor drove up to us with this information.
He's always been a very disturbed kid. In 4th grade, my friend's daughter was in his class, and they had to write something good about themselves, and he put, "I'm lonely, I'm angry, I hate everybody." He's always been disturbed.
So how do you know this man?
My friend that lives right near him.
Right.
I'm not telling you.
Down the road here?
Yeah. My friend that lives right there told me everything yesterday. Christmas Eve, they had an argument about guns because my friend goes, "I don't want any in the house," and she goes, "I love my guns, I love my guns." She said that, Mrs. Lanza. I love that, Nancy Lanza. I love guns, I love my guns. So.
And did she teach her son how to use the guns? Is that your understanding?
I heard they went to the driving range.
At dusk, the police opened up one of the roads leading close to the school, and within minutes there was an impromptu pilgrimage to another impromptu shrine. To the children, but also to the teachers, 6 of whom had given their lives so that their pupils wouldn't have to. Dawn Hochsprung, the principal, beloved by the community, concerned with security, she'd insisted on regular drills. She ran towards her killer when she heard shots in the school corridor. Newtown, Connecticut, a small, pristine town in New England, where the lights of Christmas have been replaced by the flashing lights of an horrific crime scene. And just a few other details. We also know, by the way, from the police that Adam Lanza destroyed 2 hard drives from 2 computers in his room in the house that they're still investigating. So, of course, that could hold some of the clues, some of the keys to the motives behind this crime. And also, I can tell you that just in the last few minutes, The St. Rose Catholic Church, which featured in one of our pieces, I think the one yesterday, has been evacuated because of an unspecified threat. This was in the middle of their lunchtime mass. SWAT teams arrived and are searching, I don't know for what, but they're perhaps still in there. Now, this may be an indication of the tensions, the ongoing tensions in this community that has suffered so much, but it could also have something to do with the fact that the president will be here in a few hours from now, not going to that particular church, but he will be addressing the community. This is such an extraordinary scene here because this community has been now forever defined by the tragedy that has taken place. And it'll be absolutely fascinating to see in the next few weeks whether the grief, and America gets better at grieving every single time one of these massacres happens, whether that grief will translate into some sort of political action. There are 2 Democrat senators who've already said that they will launch legislation to ban what they call weapons of war from the streets of America. But don't hold your breath. This has been promised before and nothing has happened. Let's wait and see. Now, before I hand back to Sarah, one quick reminder. There will be a Dispatches America's School Massacre reported by me tomorrow night after the news at 8 p.m, which will have much more on this tragic story. Back to you, Sarah.